I've done it.
Okay. I saw a few people put that in the chat, and it would be nice to have this to share with other Rotary members, RAGFP members, and our Positive Peace Activators. So how to introduce myself. My name is Summer Lewis. I saw the video at the beginning that you showed from the International Assembly in 2018 when I spoke. Small detail, I have never actually watched that video because it causes me to blush and turn red. I don't know if anyone else has that issue with watching yourself talk or listening to yourself talk. But I'm really glad you showed that. I've had a long history of working with peace building in Rotary. Stemming back to 2004, I was able to travel to Guatemala with a volunteer service grant through Rotary. Those no longer exist, but it really got me started on a trajectory. In 2011, 2012, I was selected as a Rotary Peace Fellow and studied at the University of Queensland. And since 2017, I've been working as the coordinator of the strategic partnership that Rotary has with the Institute for Economics and Peace. And so this is one of 3 strategic partnerships that Rotary International supports. It's been a very strong partnership. And the partnership itself is really focused on kind of merging the grassroots power of Rotary members and their peace building work with the work that the Institute for Economics and Peace does with the Positive Peace Framework and the sort of dedicated work that they've done over the years as a think tank on peace research. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to.
I have a very important question because I need you to help clarify for us the difference between positive peace activators, and then we've got some IEP ambassadors. What's the difference, please?
Okay, so let's start off top level. We have Rotary International and we have the Institute for Economics and Peace, 2 separate entities who have entered into a partnership together since 2017. Rotary itself supports, through the Rotary IP partnership, a program, I would say it is our flagship program, called the Positive Peace Activator Program. This is a training program. It's a selective program. People apply and are selected. We started these trainings in 2020. We've done 6 regional trainings thus far. And in each cohort, there's about 30 to 40 people selected from as many as in the past. We've had 400 applicants per region. The Positive Peace Activator Program is an intensive 20-hour training program. This can be in person or online during the pandemic. At the moment, we do the trainings in person. It's about 3 days of training. And it's 20 hours total and really focuses on IEP's framework, the work that they do with positive peace, understanding that a little bit better, but then also doing a deep dive into Rotary's peace ecosystem, how Rotary does peace, options for funding, how Rotary members can connect with each other further. That's the Positive Peace Activator Program. Activators, once they've completed this training, they agree to 2 years of service. And that means that they are available and willing to help and support Rotary members worldwide looking to carry out peace projects, or they want to do a workshop on positive peace. They have questions, they have concerns, they need support. That's what activators are for. Following the 2 years of service commitment, activators are given the option to continue if they wish. So at present, we have 183 positive peace activators in 6 regions from 59 countries. I'll stop there. That's the Positive Peace Activator Program. I should also mention, though, one quick thing. That's funded fully by Rotary International. Now, you've asked me, Allison, about the IEP Ambassador Program and said, well, they both start with A. It's very confusing. It is. We need to come up with a different term that's not the same alliteration. But IEP, as I've mentioned, is a think tank in partnership with Rotary, but it's its own entity. And IEP years ago, I believe it was 2016, decided that they wanted to start working with individuals around the world to help spread the work that they do. And so they started what they call the IEP Ambassador Program. This is also you could say a training program, but it is fully online. I should also mention I was part of the first cohort of IEP ambassadors in 2016, so a point of pride there. But the IEP ambassador program, I say it's less intensive than the Positive Peace Activator program. It's approximately 5 to 7 hours of online training, and it is online only. That program, the IEP ambassador program, is run and funded fully by IEP. So Rotary does not provide any funding for that particular program. However, because IEP is a strategic partnership, every year when they run, I think they run 2 cohorts per year for the IEP ambassador program, they let us know at Rotary, and we share the announcement with Rotary members and say, if you're a Rotary member interested in peace, you can join the IEP ambassador program. One thing to mention, I would say a key difference between the Rotary Positive Peace Activator program and the IEP Ambassador program is numbers. When we envisioned the Rotary Positive Peace Activator program, we really wanted to look at being selective. So we were not looking at big numbers. We were saying, let's select the best and the brightest of Rotary members that are peace builders and bring them together to work on peace. With the IEP ambassador program, it's much bigger. There's been thousands of ambassadors at this point that have participated in IEP's program. I don't have the exact number because I don't work for IEP, but I know it's thousands. So does that help answer that question a bit, Allison?
Oh, that's magnificent as always. Thank you, thank you. But I mean, what it actually says though, is that we're getting a lot of peace builders from around the world at different levels. So it's wonderful. And tonight you have also connected us with 3 positive peace activators. And we're going to go to our first one. He's a young man, 20 years old, Oscar Paredes of Mexico. And you will need to just concentrate as he talks. He talks quite quickly, but it's worth listening to. So Lars Eric, when you're ready. Thank you.
Oscar Perales, or as everyone calls me, Coque Perales. I'm 30 years old, and yeah, it doesn't seem like right. And I'm a commercial engineer specialized on strategic planning and public management. And I want to thank you, all of you, to have me here and share a bit about myself and about the projects and the activities that I've been involved during these years. So I am part of the Rotary community since 2016 as a Rotary actor from the District 4130. And currently I'm a Positive Peace Activator from the LATAM region, specifically in Ciudad Victoria, Tamaulipas, where I am based on. I am part of the IEP Ambassador Program, and thanks to Rotary, I have the opportunity to being part of the 17th World Summit of Nobel Peace Laureates. And this project that I want to share with you, and these activities that I want to share with you, is the teaching or to train trainers to create projects and activities that sustain and develop peace. That's why Rotary had to invest in young leaders to design and create projects. So this project, Embajadores de la Paz, that I was part of the creation, we designed this methodology to solve problems through gaming and teach how to make connections with people and share our stories, our vision, and create a sustainable community. And this project was reinforced as I became an activator, to just not to teach people how to solve problems through gaming, also to create projects based on the 8 positive pillars, or the pillars of positive peace. And that was thanks to this project, Un México Más Fuerte, that I was part of, and had this founding, this global grant founding that teach young leaders and young people how to create projects with a sustainable peace approach. And thanks to this journey, thanks to these activities, I was able to share my knowledge, the knowledge that I acquired thanks to Rotary, through other leaders and design activities such as these projects that I'm sharing, mini coders in the makerspace, the gaming teaching, the solving problem resolution, and being in touch with your emotion, being in touch with yourself, teaching young leaders. And I know that this pandemic taught us that being in touch with our emotion and with our mental health is such an important part of the creation of this peace environment that we desire. And thanks to Rotary and thanks to being an activator, um, I was able to develop myself to my public career as such, here as in the government. Now, currently, I am the director of the youth department from my local state in Tamaulipas. Um, and being this leader that had this opportunity to know a bit more about the peace community creation and advising the government and being participant of the project of the government now allows me to being the director of the youth department and include this young vision and creating projects vision through all the government, include the youth participation, the youth activities. So train leaders, train trainers is such an amazing experience and an amazing project to being in touch with the Rotary community and our governments, our local governments, our society. And yeah, I know the time is such in a rush, and I want to share everything. But I know that all of you have this tight schedule. So I hope that I'll leave you with too many questions. So this is my contact information. If anyone is interested to chat a bit.
Hello, fellow Rotarians, guests, and friends.
Right, so you get no prizes for guessing where we're going next. So we're going from Mexico to Nigeria. And I know we've got quite a few Nigerians on this call. I know we have more than one IEP, Positive Peace Activator on this call from Nigeria. So we're going to hear from Dr. Pietro Macleo. So when you're ready, Lars, thank you.
Hello, fellow Rotarians, guests, and friends. My name is Dr. Pietro Uzochukwu Macleo. I'm a Rotarian from Rotary Club of Abuja, Wuse2, District 9125, Nigeria. I'm a Positive Peace Activator of the West and Central African cohort. I'm also a member of the Rotary Action Group for Peace. I joined RAGFP in the year 2018. And today I'm the chairman of the Rotary Action Group for Peace Nigeria chapter. So I want to talk a bit about my peace work, talk a bit about the action group, talk about the Rotary Positive Peace Activator group, and how both parties could get involved, synergize, collaborate, and advance sustainable peace across the globe. Now, coming to my peace work, I became an IEP ambassador in the year 2020, just after my tenure as the president of my club in 2019-2020 Rotary year. And since then, it became clear about how we should go about peace building and achieving or actualizing positive peace. This is my initiative, and the whole intention is to establish peace infrastructures across the 8 pillars of peace, so that Rotarians, peace enthusiasts, peace practitioners would have a sustainable approach, a measurable as the Rotary International president put it over the weekend, a systemic approach to peace building. And that is what exactly our framework or our intervention activating positive peace in Nigeria aims to achieve. And being a positive peace activator added to that clout or ambition, I would say, because what it had helped us achieve so far is to bring us together with a pool of like minds, Rotarians, non-Rotarians, that are actionable, that desire peace within their communities. And also being a member of the RAGFP as well gives us that global view to be able to see what is obtainable out there, make networks, make linkages, come in contact with persons, learn global best practices to advance what we do locally. You know, RAGFP happens to be a platform for peace practitioners in the Rotary ecosystem. So we compare notes, we do lots of lesson learning, we come together to see what works best. Now, for activators, you could become a RAGFP member simply by signifying interest, filling the form. For those in Nigeria, there's now a chapter here in Nigeria, and the membership recruitment is currently ongoing. You can click on the link and fill up the form. The global level, you could visit the RAGFP website and fill up the form. For RAGFP members as well, Positive Peace Activator program runs continentally. I think currently the Oceania just rounded up, and the US could be starting up at any moment. So we advise RAGFP members to get involved with that as well. The whole objective is to synergize, collaborate, have a more holistic and systemic approach to peace building within Rotary and outside of Rotary. Thank you very much and welcome on board.
Thank you. Well, we're now going to, so we've been to Mexico, we've just come from Nigeria, now we're off to Serbia, and we have our Positive Peace Activator, Tiana Rishtik. I can tell you much about her, but the video is going to do that for you. Large Eric, when you're ready. So I'm delighted to welcome Tiana Rishtik. Now, I could tell you a lot about Tiana, but I'm not going to because she's going to tell us herself. So Tiana, tell us about yourself. Who are you? What's your background? And what's your connection to Rotary and Positive Peace Activators?
First of all, hello, Alison. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much to you and to Summer Lewis for inviting me to be part of this very special meeting for myself. My name is Tiana Ristic. I am a road director from Serbia. My club is Rotary Club of Belgrade Metropolitan. And in my district 2483, this year I am serving as the New Generation Service Exchange chair. When it comes to my connection with the Positive Peace Activator program, it's simple. I'm one of the activators. And from this point of view, now almost 4 years, I think, since I've done my training, I am very, very privileged to be one of very few people selected to be part of the European cohort.
So you're not only a RAG member, though, but you're currently on the board. So how did you get involved in the RAG? And when did that happen? And what inspired you to join the RAG and later to join the RAG board?
Well, that is a very nice and for me interesting story, because 5 years ago when I became a RAG for Peace member, I only knew it exists. I was one of the I was attending a program on NVC, Nonviolent Communication and Rotary Four-Way Test, which is founded by a RAG member and a Rotarian from Ohio, Mr. Thomas Carlisi. And in these meetings, I got an opportunity to meet you, Allison, actually. So when I graduated from his program, he gifted me my first ever membership in RAG. And since we already met each other through this program, you invited me to help with RAG for Peace public image. So I started attending meetings, helping, working, getting to know people, learning more about vision of RAG for Peace. And I just started falling in love with everything mentioned, and this is how I decided to stay after that first year of my membership. And last year around this time, I was informed that I am one of the candidates for a position on the boards. That is a great honor for me because, you know, I'm sitting at the same table with people who I consider champions of the peace building. And as a Rotary actor and now youth director, I have to highlight how much I'm loving the fact that one of the biggest Rotary action groups has a Rotary actor on their board. This means that RAG for Peace really cares about Rotaract and our work and our opinion, which is very nice. You don't see that in Rotary a lot, unfortunately.
And you're not just a director, you're not there representing youth, you're also chair of the Public Image Committee. So how on earth do you manage to combine your work as an activator with your work with the RAG?
Well, thanks for mentioning that. But I think that was very natural because us Rotary actors, we are very, skilled when it comes to everything media and social media related. So I think me, taking care of that part for RAG is very natural. But when it comes to combining me working as an activator and me being so present on the RAG for Peace, well, I think this meeting is a great example because we are actually combining the two. And I have to be a bit biased and mention that this meeting happening now is the product of a couple of conversations I had at the Positive Peace Activators Leadership Summit that took place in October last year in Nepal, when we finally got an opportunity to sit together and to meet people from different cohorts and to brainstorm a lot and to exchange ideas. So I was listening to everyone and I was like, our Peacebuilder clubs, our chapters need activators. We need to bring more positive peace into RAG. So I approached Summer and Rebecca asking for something to happen. And I think this meeting is a great starting point for us.
So the big question, what possibilities do you see for activators to collaborate with the RAG and vice versa?
Well, I can only try to build up to what Pietro said before me, which you had the opportunity to hear. But there is so many opportunities for both sides. RAG has Peacebuilder clubs and chapters, and these clubs are invested in peace. They are passionate. They want to work on peace projects, And on the other hand, we have activators who have so much knowledge. They are educated, they have tools, they have skills, they have knowledge, which can be so useful for our Peacebuilder clubs to start working, so we give knowledge to our Peacebuilder clubs, but at the same time, we give an opportunity to our activators to do what they sign up for, right? And on the other hand, having activators on the RAG means that they get access to all of our resources, and I can tell you they are incredible. They get access to all of our programs, and we have so many of them, so they can continue learning and working on themselves. So there is so many opportunities, but giving activators an opportunity to work with Rotary and Rotary clubs in their first language, and to build projects together with Rotarians who actually do want to work on peace projects. I think that is a win-win situation, and as I said, incredible starting point.
I do believe that both the Nigeria chapter and the soon-to-be launched Rotary Great Britain and Ireland chapter have within those chapters positive peace activators. They have cadre members, as well as obviously all their founding members. Is that a good start, do you think?
Well, what do you think? I think that is a brilliant start, and I am so thrilled for Pietro and the launch of his chapter. Congratulations once again. And I cannot wait to see what he will do with the Nigeria chapter, and also what you're going to do with the Great Britain and Ireland chapter, having the support of 2 activators from Great Britain. Sri and Joel are going to be founding members of this chapter. So I cannot wait to see what comes up from that. And I am hoping in the future to have something similar happening with my Serbian chapter. So yeah, that is a great starting point. And we already have so many numbers, and we have proof that chapters work, but imagine what they can do if they get support from a local activator.
Well, I think perhaps we should just remind everybody that in registration, we asked them to tell us if they wanted to be linked with a positive peace activator. And according to registration thus far, and in fact, a previous meeting, we have had some response to that, haven't we?
Well, at the moment when we are recording this, I have an information that over 40 people said that they want to work with an activator. One thing that was very important for me was to ask these people what is their language of preference, because I want a Serbian speaking activator to work with Serbian chapter. So this is going to be great, and I'm hoping that we get the same response from the activators, and that in a couple of months we do some type of a survey and see what happened from this, because the amount of people who are interested, you can see me smiling. I don't have to say anything. It makes me very happy. So I have high hopes for this. I just want to finally say a big thank you to Rebecca Corral and Summer Lewis for agreeing on this. I want to say a big thank you to all of the activators who agreed to become part of this collaboration. And finally, I want to thank you as the founder of these meetings and the whole RAG board for supporting this idea and for making this meeting today happen.
Thank you. So we'll just give them one last chance. If they missed asking for that collaboration in registration, we'll let them put something in the chat box and tell us if they want to be linked up. And then you'll be looking forward to doing that. So thank you so much, Tiana. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm sure that you're sat there thinking, what an amazing group of people. Well, and remember, there are many more. So we're now coming to some questions and answers. Again, you stay muted, and I have the pleasure of asking the questions on your behalf to Summer. So you need to unmute, Summer. So I think the recurring question, Summer, was, I want to be an activator. How do I go about it?
Exactly. So I did put something into the chat because I saw a lot of people asking that question. And I thought, you know, sometimes people leave early from a session, so I didn't want them to miss out. So I'm hoping that there will be a way to share this information in future Rag for Peace newsletters, now that we're doing a lot of collaboration together. There's I would say two ways for you to express interest in the Positive Peace Activator program. One is to go to the Activator webpage that we have, and I will include that link. I've included it above, but I'll include it right here. When you click on this page, there is a section that says expression of interest, and it asks for a few things, your name, where you're located, etc. That gets stored into a system that when we have trainings, we let people know. But I would also suggest, in addition to that, if you are really keen on doing this, another way to, which is a little more, I guess you could say old school, is to just contact me directly. So I know I'll get an inundation of emails, that's fine. I promise to get to them within the next Rotary year. But I'll put my email here in the chat box. And what I tell people is, let me know your name, Rotary title, Rotary district, location. And I'll put you in a file that I keep. So between those two ways, you should be notified. Additionally, when we have new trainings come up, and these are still regional trainings, we do share it with Rag for Peace, and they're very kind and include it in a newsletter and get the word out to different areas. This might be a good time for me to also answer like what trainings have happened and which ones are coming up. Do you think, Allison?
I do, and add on to that, because there's another question. What's required of them? I mean, they want to know, well, am I good enough to apply? That kind of thing. Thank you.
So essentially, the application process for those who are here who've applied and who've been selected, it's not the simplest application process. You could probably blame me for that. I had a strong hand in making the application a little deeper. But it's a series of questions that are asked regarding your commitment to peace building, what you understand about Rotary, what you understand about IEP, how you see positive peace, and some ideas you might have for doing a project. This is all following an introduction to the program and a little bit of background. But generally, the kind of qualifications, as we would say, and again, because it's a selection process, not everyone can get selected. We only have a specific number of spots. But the qualifications are generally that you have some connection to Rotary, that you have some connection maybe to IEP, but really the Rotary connection is more important. That carries a heavier weight. And if someone applies and says, well, I don't have a connection to Rotary, but I know of Rotary and I'm really amazed by what Rotary does and I really want to get involved, that carries more weight than someone who says, well, I don't know and I don't care, obviously. But some of the other qualifications are that you have a basic knowledge of peace, which in my mind, any Rotary member in the world has a basic knowledge of peace based on the nature of the organization. But then additionally, qualifications that are very much about you have an interest in learning, you have an interest in connecting, and you have an interest in network building. So I'm saying those as if they're very simplistic, but those are basically the general qualifications. That we want to see that people kind of know what they're getting into and have some background related to positive peace and Rotary, but then additionally that they have a very strong desire to do something, so they're motivated.
Thank you. So did you cover all your points you wanted? But there's an important
I was
one.
going to cover the different trainings, the different regions.
Please do, because we've also been asked, what are the 6 regions?
Yes, so the 6 regions in order from 2020, we started with North America, which included US and Canada. We did not include Mexico because it's Spanish speaking. The next cohort was Latin America, which basically included Mexico all the way down through South America. Then Europe, then Asia, which was a very broad take on Asia. And then East Africa, then West and Central Africa. And our next training that will be taking place, the selection has already been made, is Oceania, That will take place in May, right before Singapore convention. We timed it that way to easily hop from one to the next. And we have a second North America training that's taking place in August. That application closed. A second Latin America training taking place in September. That application is not yet open, but will be soon. And finally, we'll be having a Middle East North Africa training in February 2025. I should just briefly comment, the original thought with this program that there would be 6 regional trainings. That was going to be it. But over time, things morphed, they changed. And in certain cases, important Rotary members in specific regions came forward and said, hey, can we do one in my region? And I have the support and funding we can provide to help make this happen. And so there's been a bit of a shifting from the original structure. But at this point, I don't foresee any other general activator trainings being added to this docket between now and February of 2025. That said, this program is a pilot program. So it's part of the partnership, which is a strategic partnership, but it's a pilot program. There's a lot in store in the future for growing this program, making it bigger after February or after 2025, I should say. So it's not a program that will go away. And if nothing else, it's likely it will expand and grow because we've had such good response with it. But it is a very tiny program and it's mostly managed by me. So I do get a lot of people saying, well, why can't we have a training here and why can't we have a training there? Unfortunately, there's an issue of bandwidth and capacity, but it is something that if there's Rotary members in a specific region that are really motivated and they have the connections and the support and are really interested in proposing it, we would be able to consider hosting a training. I say consider, I'm not going to promise anything, but it's possible.
Thank you. I've got something which will excite you because you mentioned the Middle East. We, in the last month, have had 17 new Peacebuilder clubs in Egypt, and they will be launching a chapter in June. I say that because one of the people responsible is on this call. So I just wanted to give a shout out for Egypt. But I've got another question for you. So the question is, how can Rotaractors become ambassadors of peace? And how can Rotaractors be certified clubs in peace? Can I answer the second part first, please? Yes. So whereas we say that we have Rotary Peacebuilder Clubs, we also have Rotaract Peacebuilder Clubs. And we can certify a Rotaract club as a Peacebuilder club. It requires 2 members in the club to be members of the RAG, a rate of $5 per year currently, and for them to get more acquainted in peace, to take the various opportunities to read up the primer, the Peace Academy and so on, to inform their club more about peace and to get more involved in the district. So the answer is yes, you can become a Rotaract Peacebuilder Club. If you've got any questions, that email that was in the chat, and Tiana will put it in again, Rotary Action Group for Peace @gmail.com. We will be very glad to connect with you. But the question was for you, Summer, how can Rotaractors be ambassadors of peace?
So is this, how can Rotaractors become IEP ambassadors? Like the difference between the two programs. If people are interested in the IEP ambassador program, so again, as we discussed at the beginning, and maybe this person wasn't on here, they're 2 separate programs, but I can include information in the chat about the IEP ambassador program. It is an online application process. I think they do 2 cohorts per year. Allow me to just put this in the chat. When these IEP ambassador programs open up, they usually get shared on Rotary social media just to say, hey, strategic partner IEP is having this. Who's interested in joining? I have it, I saved it, here it is. Okay, just a second. I had my word notes and links ready. Okay. That right there in the chat is the IEP ambassador program. But as I say, I don't work with that directly. That's through the Institute for Economics and Peace. But if you are interested, or any other Rotary actors, you can go to that website. They also have an expression of interest, which allows you to say, hey, I want to do this training. I don't know when it's going to open up, but they'll contact you when the training has opened up again. I think they just closed one of their cohorts. I think it was April 19th was the deadline, but they'll have another one this year for sure.
Thank you. Another question, probably these two will combine, because one person said, is there any chance that Rotary International could produce an online directory of PPAs? And then somebody else said, well, I'm in District 6440. Do we have one? What advice would you give?
Yes, so the answer, to be short, is yes, there is a directory. However, due to Rotary's data privacy laws, I'm not able to publish that. So don't blame me for that. Rotary is extremely, extremely sensitive, Rotary International, as they should be, with the legalities of data sharing. However, I have access to that information. I manage our 183 current activators. I don't, as I mentioned to someone on here, I don't know the districts of every single activator off the top of my head. It's 183 people, but I can find out that information for you because I do collect it. So I keep the directory. So I think I mentioned, if it's the same person, and I know it's a little bit cumbersome, but due to data privacy laws, if you contact me directly and say, I'm so-and-so in this district and I'm looking to connect, I will be able to put you in touch directly if there are activators in your district. Now, we only have 183 current and active activators globally. You can imagine there's what, 500 districts per se, 500 districts plus. Not every district has an activator, but they may be near you. So I can always look at location in terms of city, state, or even country if you want to connect. So it's just a matter of sending me an email with your request. And like I said, I'll get back to you and provide more information.
So another question, Summer, is what could clubs or Rotarians expect from engagement with Positive Peace Activators?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's like me and my work. You get a lot of love. I know that sounds probably a little bit cheesy, but I tell people I have the best job because I get to work with really motivated people that want to do good in the world. I'm sure you understand that as well with RAG for Peace, right?
Yes.
What can you get? It's very flexible. And this has often been a point of, I think sometimes, how do I put this? People say, well, no, but what exactly do I get? And the thing is, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. It could be a variety of things. Our activators, when they get trained, they agree before they accept their training and before they go to training that they'll do 2 years of service. And they are told, what we want you to do when you finish your training is connect with Rotary members. Many activators say to me, well, what does that mean? Tell me exactly what to do. But personally, I like to keep it a bit more flexible. And that means if an activator wants to reach out to Rotary members that they know and say, hi, I'm an activator. I can do a presentation. I can do a workshop. I can do a project. What would you like? That can happen, but it can go the other way. The activators are available. And that means if someone from a specific place says, I want to connect, I find that activator in that area and I connect them. What ensues from that? Likely a conversation of some sort. And in that conversation is when it can become more evident what exactly could potentially be done. So I know we have some other activators actually on the call, and I saw Joel Weaver here, for example, and I was thinking, oh, maybe we could put Joel on the spot and say, he's had a lot of experience with me connecting him to Rotary members in Europe, for example. He's part of our Europe cohort, who are just heard about the program, think it's interesting, and want to talk to an activator. And so we have activators like Joel who are really helpful with that. And it just kind of develops organically a bit, the conversation.
I think one of the areas that I'm thinking of particularly, which is the way that we've been going down the path that we have with Peace Fellows, activators, and so on, and cadre, is that when you actually make the connections, those various groupings have all had various trainings around peace, and that many of you prepare grants, be it district grants or global grants, and we hope in the area of peace. And it could well be that they could help you in the writing of that, the preparation, the thinking of it, and that it might assist you in putting that grant together. It might assist you in getting that grant right first time around. So those are some of the other advantages I can think of. I'm going to ask Michael, if is there anything that we've missed?
What's question for you, Allison and Summer, is clubs have requested that they be matched with Positive Peace Activators. What happens next? What's the next step?
Well, after this meeting, after this meeting, I will be passing that list to our Tiana, and our Tiana will be liaising with our Summer, and they will be marrying them up. I won't be marrying them up because it's not my area of expertise and I don't need to do it. But Tiana and Summer together will be ensuring that those who have asked will get contact details for a Positive Peace Activator who's able to assist them and to work in the language that they request. Summer, is that about right?
I believe so. So we're still kind of in the process between the Rotary IEP partnership, myself, and Rebecca Kroll, area focus manager for peace building and conflict prevention, and having conversations with the RAG for Peace to see how we can better collaborate about this. I think we have a pending conversation at convention to further drill down the details. It's kind of a no-brainer though, saying, yeah, how can we collaborate more together? Because we have these activators that want to connect with Rotary members, like RAG for Peace members, Peacebuilder Clubs, and the RAG for Peace chapters. So we would ask for your patience a bit as we're kind of working out how we do this. But for the meantime, it'll be exactly what Allison has said, looking at people making requests, and then looking at the activators that we have, and then matching as well as we can and connecting. For now, that's what we have.
Thank you. Yes, Michael.
So I would ask for those who are matched, the activators, the clubs, this should be an educational process for all of us. So when you do have your match and when you do have your success, or if you don't have success, tell us what you learned. Tell us what happened. We want to hear the stories. We want to hear the successes, and we want to build best practices. So as we go forward, we would like for this to, instead of being just a one-on-one between the Positive Peace Activator and the club, to be a RAG for Peace collaboration on how to build peace for the future. So please give us feedback.
Thank you. There's $1 million question always. You can tell we're dealing with Rotarian Summer. Is there any cost to a club?
There is not. No. I think I saw, and I do want to quickly mention, I've seen a few people in here that have are asking for activators. I'm not able to cut and paste this quick enough. So if you can send me an email so I can follow up with you. I got a few in the beginning, but now
don't worry. We saved the chat. We saved the chat. Don't
okay.
worry.
So that's good. Thank you. Yeah, I have trouble talking and reading the chat and cutting and pasting at the same time.
Okay. So just one last question. We had someone saying that they're fairly new club and new to projects, particularly positive peace projects. And they're saying, well, what are positive peace projects? Do you want to answer that, Summer? And then I'm sure Michael's got something to say on that.
I do. And I actually saw, I think Dennis Wong asked for this, so I just put it in the chat quickly. We have the Rotary IP partnership has a number of tools, educational tools that we've developed over the years since 2017. And of course, one of the programs we manage is the activator program. So I suppose by extension, we could say our activators are tools for Rotary members in the best sense of the word. But for people who are looking at designing a project and they say, okay, I want to think about incorporating this concept of positive peace, which positive peace refers to attitudes, institutions, and structures of more peaceful societies. IEP works with the positive peace framework. They have come up with a model called the 8 pillars of positive peace. And what that can really provide is kind of a foundation, if you will, that can be applicable to really any project that's not just necessarily peace. It could apply to any of the areas of focus. Without going into too much depth, 2 things I'll say here about that. We do have a very basic tool, a document that I've put in the chat called the Positive Peace Project Design Tool. You can download it, this URL. It will download to your computer as a PDF. And it basically walks you through some questions that gets you to think about, okay, I'm designing a project. What sort of factors should I think about incorporating into this that relate to positive peace? There's an example in the tool from a water and sanitation project, an example that was put together by a cadre member, Marcel van Opstal, and it really demonstrates how this tool is versatile and can be applied not just to peace building projects. So that's one thing I'll say. The other thing I will say, if you are going to be, and I hope I'm okay doing this, Allison, because I didn't actually ask permission, but we are hosting a 1-day positive peace workshop in Singapore on May 24th. And now some of you have signed up for this. We do have some extra space. We've unfortunately had, it's about 100 Rotarians total have responded and indicated they wish to attend, and our capacity is 100 people. But unfortunately, due to some visa issues, travel costs, etc., a few people have dropped out. So we do have some space to incorporate, I would say 10 to 15 people who are already planning to be at Rotary Convention, who are registered for Rotary Convention. You must be registered to get into this workshop. I will put a link in the chat. The quote unquote application form is much easier than the activator form, so have no worries, but it basically explains the workshop, what we'll be doing. And if you are interested in attending that, we're going to be doing a deep dive into applying positive peace to projects, just to put it simply. So this will take place May 24th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So for those of you attending convention that may have interest, I'll put that in the chat and you're welcome to apply for it. And then we'll get back to you based on the space we have available. I need to find that link though, just a second.
So Summer, no apology was necessary. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm so glad that other people are going to have that opportunity. We have come to the end of our question time, but and I'm going to pass back to Michael, but I would remind you all that we've put in the chat box, we've got Summer's email, you've got the Rotary Action Group for Peace email, and between each of our organizations, we would be delighted to ask and answer any questions that you have and support you in whatever way we are able. So Michael, you have the last word as chair. Would you like to take us out or whatever it is you want?
Certainly. I did see one question in the chat that I would like to answer, and that was about what sort of projects, what sort of things do we work on? Same question that we get time and again. What should my club be doing? And what I always like to say is, let's go back to the fundamentals of Rotary, the 4-way test. That if we all follow the 4-way test, it tells us that we treat everyone with respect and we give everyone the very basic human dignity that they deserve. And so when I look at the 8 pillars of peace, if you want to select a starting point to work on positive peace, work on attitudes. Give the 4-way test outcomes to your community, to whoever you're working with. Work on attitudes. So, final word, thank you all for coming. This has been a great meeting. It's a great day. And I appreciate your commitment to peace. Thank you.